Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us in this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Stamford Bridge has just got underway. It's Chelsea taking on Brighton and Hove Albion, and we're hoping for a good game. Both teams need to show a little bit more than what they have done so far at the start of this season. Chelsea losing to Manchester United last week, having had their goalkeeper Robert Sanchez sent off after just a few minutes, whereas Brighton have been sort of stop-start. They've had a couple of good games, but a couple of really poor performances as well. So Fabian Herzl will be looking to try and to get something from the game this afternoon. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Eirik Stangnes taking you through the action. Eirik, how do we see it? Chelsea strong favourites or just mild favourites?
I would actually put them as mild favourites today against Brighton. Chelsea hit a bit of a stutter. A good start of the season, but they were well beaten in Munich in the Champions League, beaten by Man United, and by beaten by Man United these days is not a good. That's not an acceptable result anymore. The way that things are going, and Brighton had a great result against Man City, and obviously a fantastic result in the Cup midweek when Gomez scored 4 goals. But yeah, stop start for Brighton. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. Lots of technical good players to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And here come Chelsea for their first attack. Cucurella leaving the ball here for Pedro Neto. He gets all the way to the edge of the area, just stops and then leaves it here for Enzo Fernandez. He then puts the ball over towards the right hand side of the penalty area where Esteval was arriving. He gets blocked off, but then the loose ball is collected here by Reece James. So Chelsea still keeping the pressure on his back with Caicedo. There's a whole thread of ex-Brighton players in this Chelsea 11 this afternoon. But for the time being, Chelsea now, there's going to be a free kick here for Chelsea as well, as Enzo Fernandez is caught as he was trying to get the ball away. A combination of Baleba and Gomez bring him down, so that will be a free kick to Chelsea. Just to remind you of the two 11s very quickly: Robert Sanchez in goal for Chelsea, a back four of James, Chalobah, Hato and Marc Cucurella. Andre Santos and Moises Caicedo were two holder midfielders. Ahead of them it's Esteval, Enzo Fernandez, Pedro Neto, with João Pedro as the front man. For Brighton it is Verbruggen in goal with a back four of Veltman, Van Hecke, Dunk and Kaidoglu. Baleba and Ayari are the two holder midfielders, with Minte, Diego Gomez and Mitoma as the attacking three playing behind Ruter and Chelsea. This is a good position for Chelsea now.
Yes, good, about 30 yards. I think it's more of a maybe a training ground routine instead of a shot. The wall is just a yard outside the penalty area, so it's going to be a really good shot on goal if there's a shot, but it might be something from the training ground. I'm not sure, maybe Fernandez fancy this.
Yeah, Fernandez and James, you would expect one of these two to try and go for goal. If they're going to pass it, it's going to have to be a very clever move, but it's Fernandez going for goal, and it's on target, forcing a save from Verbruggen. That ball stays on the line before it going out for a corner.
Yes, it's a decent hit, it's on target, and it's a standard save from Verbruggen. So obviously they did go for a shot after in the end, but if you get it on target, you get a rebound, you get a corner, so it's not a wasted opportunity.
No, absolutely not. And so we know that both James and Fernandez can certainly test the goalkeeper from that kind of range. It's going to be Reece James now to take the corner kick for Chelsea on the left-hand side. It will be an in-swinger from the Chelsea captain. He lifts this one into the 6-yard box. It's headed up in the air. I think it was Dunk that got his head to that one. It's cleared out into midfield, where Esteval has tracked this ball all the way to the halfway line before going back towards Robert Sanchez. So as I say, I mentioned there's a whole thread of Chelsea players formerly at Brighton. So Robert Sanchez is a former Brighton player, Marc Cucurella is a former Brighton player, Moises Caicedo is a former player, as is Fernandez, as is João Pedro. So actually you could say they've got one player in each line of the team, really, haven't they?
Absolutely. It's obviously Brighton have sold a lot of players to Chelsea for a lot of money as well, so that's it's quite good business for Brighton, because they haven't, like Caicedo, hasn't really hit the ground running with all the hype. It was going to Liverpool, it was going to Chelsea. He's a good player.
100 plus million as well. That's the other thing, is huge money. But Brighton lose the ball in midfield, and suddenly it's opening up for Chelsea. It's a quick ball out from Andre Santos towards Pedro Neto. He breaks into the box, he goes for goal, but that's a good covering challenge there from Joel Veltman. Comes across and puts it out for a corner. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Caicedo hasn't quite been the sort of force that everyone expected, but he has got better, I think, over the 2 seasons he's been at Stamford Bridge. And Pedro Neto was already a decent player before he arrived. João Pedro, I think he made a brilliant start in the World Club Championships over in the US, and he hasn't really done it in the Premier League so far.
Not yet, no. So, but he's getting a starting position, so which is with the squad of Chelsea, which it's a good. He must have done something right in training at least, and I think it was a great play for Brighton, Pedro, and. So now Chelsea come again with a cross into the box. And then another shot from Cucurella, another former player.
Just going wide. The initial corner was partially cleared. Chelsea then came back and it did drop to Cucurella, and his effort goes wide of the goal. But this is one of 4 Premier Premier League games on our service this afternoon. As well as this game, we've got Palace against Liverpool, Leeds against Bournemouth, and Man City against Burnley. It's 0-0 in all those games. It finished 3-1 to Brentford against Manchester United in the earlier game. And in the later games this evening at 5:30, we have Nottingham Forest against Sunderland, followed by Tottenham Hotspur against Wolverhampton Wanderers at 8 p.m. This evening. And just in case you missed it earlier this morning, Graham Potter has now been sacked by West Ham. Nuno Espirito Santo is rumoured to be taking over in the next day or so. We'll see if that's done before their game on Monday night. But getting back to the action here, is Brighton on the attack. A ball down the right-hand side, a cross coming into the box. It's just about cleared into midfield, but it's scooped up here by Balibo, then goes for an incredible strike from a very tight angle. There was never much danger of that going on target, but it does force a deflection. So now Brighton have their first corner.
Yeah, it's actually a clever play from Balibo, because I think first touch is not good enough. Basically, it's to just hooves the ball straight at the defender, out for a corner kick after a good combination on the right hand side first with Minte.
Absolutely, yeah. Minte and Mitoma, they're two dangerous players for Brighton. And as you mentioned, Diego Gomez, in that you mentioned that Brighton did very well in midweek. Gomez scored 4 of those goals when Brighton won 6-0 away. I actually commentated on their last 6-0 win, which was in an earlier round when they beat Oxford 6-0 in the second round, I believe, of the Carabao Cup this season. They've certainly enjoyed scoring in that competition, but now they're going to try and do something here in the Premier League. It's a short corner here from the visitors, and then it's a ball whipped in from the right hand side. Oh, it's just away. I think it was aimed at Ruter. It's now cleared back into midfield, and in fact there's an offside. Confirmation now from our referee Simon Hooper, just as that ball was going to come back into the box. The flag has gone up, and it will be a free kick to Chelsea. Yeah,
it's a decent whipped cross by Eirik from the right hand side, and we had this fantastic goal against Spurs. Maybe the goalkeeper should have done better when he scored the 2-0 goal against Spurs, but that's for Brighton. They're just coming into the game after a good start for Chelsea, and now Chelsea are stressed. That's a good press from Brighton when they're trying to play that from the back, forcing a throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. I think that's a bit of a unforced error there, really, from Joel Hatto, because he didn't actually have. He wasn't as rushed in as I think he suggested. I mean, he was pretty much falling over, just wanting to clear the ball. Brighton have taken the throw quickly. That's a really good turn there as well from Minte, trying to break into the box. That's really good work from Caicedo as well, because he effectively sort of puts himself on the ball, and he gives Minte a choice: either let me turn with it or fall into me and then give me a free kick, and that's what Minte did.
Yeah, but the ball was basically, I think it was in between the legs of Caicedo on the floor. So in order to kick the ball, you have to kick the player. So yeah, it's the other way around there. It could have been a free kick, indirect free kick against Caicedo if he basically stops the ball, or I think that rule is gone now, and now Chelsea gives the ball away
Robert
again.
Sanchez with a clearance from the edge of his own 6-yard box. It was a low ball. It luckily deflected off a Brighton player, then went away, and now suddenly it opens up for Chelsea. And here's João Pedro charging through the middle. He's got support on the right here from Estevao. He cuts back onto his left foot, goes for goal. It's charged down. Loose ball at the edge of the area, but Estevao's appealing that it might have been a handball in that block. Referee says nothing for the time being. Pedro Neto's cross into the box is blocked, and there's an attempt from Diego Gomez to get the ball away before a sliding challenge from Veltman finally I tell you what, the referee's given a free kick there against the Dutchman. Veltman, in my opinion, wins the ball there, but Enzo Fernandez hits the deck, and it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, he's given a free kick, and possibly a yellow card for Veltman as well. I'm not sure, but it's the follow through for Veltman, and when we started watching football, Paul, that was never a free kick, but I don't think it is a free kick.
I don't think there is much of a follow through there. He gets the ball. I mean, unless he literally just tucks his legs in as soon as he wins the challenge, there's nothing else he could do there. And I don't want to say what all the ex-pros say, all just bad tackling and stuff like that, which is what they always say when they're trying to go on a bit of a rant. But I mean, when you see something like that, they have actually got a bit of a point, because there's nothing else he could have done there, and he actually won the ball.
Well, I think it's a good challenge, because I think it's his trailing leg that takes the Chelsea player's legs, but it's basically the ball's kicked out. It's not stopping. If that's a foul where the ball is gone a yard, then it's a foul, because basically then you're stopping the next move. But yeah, I agree with you there.
It's a strange one that from the referee, but he's given the free kick, and it's taken short here. Pedro Neto to Reece James, who's gone for the curling effort, and he forces a save from Verbruggen. It will be a corner to Chelsea.
It's a good, it's a quick free kick from Chelsea. I think we were caught napping a bit there, Brighton, and it's a shot in the keeper's corner. Standard save by Verbruggen, but another corner kick, and Chelsea on top again.
Yeah, it's the fourth corner kick of the game. We've only had 9.5 minutes. Chelsea have had 3 of them. It's going to be an in-swinging ball here from the right-hand side. Plenty waiting inside the box here as it's whipped in at pace, but it's headed away at the near post. Diego Gomez then gets a touch on it, but it's kept alive, played back in towards Caicedo, who's having to track all the way back to the halfway line just to keep this ball alive for Chelsea. We have our first goal in the Premier League. Crystal Palace have taken the lead against Liverpool. We'll confirm the goal scorer for you in just a second, but let's not get too excited about that, because Liverpool will probably come back and score 3 in the last 5 minutes, as they normally do. But back to Stamford Bridge. Here come Chelsea down the right with Pedro Neto. He just does good work though to try and dispossess him here from Ruter, and Ruter's trying to play out from the back himself. He runs into a line of Chelsea players, and now he needs support, and Chelsea have won the ball back just at the edge of the Brighton penalty area. It's finally cleared up towards the halfway line, where it's headed back by Reece James, and Brighton now having to chase the ball again. It's Palace who've taken the lead, and the goal scorer in that game, just to confirm for you, it was Ismaila Sarr with the goal for Palace, who've made a very good start to the season. Yeah, Palace, one of the teams that, despite all the injuries they've had, they've got Adam Wharton back today, and the team is just very important for them. But now Chelsea, I thought it was going to get a through ball on the right-hand side to Estevao, but it's cleared away by the goalkeeper for Brighton. He got the pass quickly there from Kai Doglu, and then he cleared it long towards the halfway line. It's out for another throw, but this is a sort of start I think that he would have expected here, Fabian Hürzeler. You know that Chelsea at home aren't going to start with a little bit of possession on the halfway line. They want to try and get forward, particularly with the game that they had at Old Trafford last week. So Brighton must have expected a bit of an onslaught early on, and I'll just get your thoughts on that in a second, because Chelsea go forward again here where Cucurella gets the ball towards the edge of the area. It's just away from Enzo Fernandez, and now Brighton potentially with the chance to go on the counter. It's a long ball here from Diego Gomez looking for the run of Minte, but that one's stopped by a combination of Cucurella and Chalobah before the ball played back towards Sanchez. Yes, Brighton trying to get in a quick counter-attack. Now it's a chance for another counter-attack, this time for Chelsea. Superb work here from Estevao. He drops the shoulder, gets away from two, he's off down the right-hand side, he gets into the area. He's waiting far too long to play that ball across. He should have either had a shot when he got into the penalty area, or he should have played it square, but in the end, it's all right. He can apologise to his teammates now. It's such a great run though from Estevao. That nutmeg there just leaves Kai Doglu a long way behind, but he took too long on the ball in the end. Yeah, it's the run is actually from the halfway line, and it just fantastic spin into the box. It's almost like he's looking too much for a teammate to square it to, and if right, maybe 2-3 yards further out, have a shot for the far corner, but it's a corner kick for Chelsea, and it's not an onslaught, I think, but it's pressure now. I think it's an offside. Yeah, that's terrible. They've been caught offside, having taken a short corner. The second ball then going back towards the corner kick taker, who was in an offside position by the time he got the ball back. So it's an easy way there for Brighton to win the ball back. A free kick here to the visitors, just by the corner flag in front of their own penalty area. And can confirm that Man City have now gone 1-0 up against Burnley. That's not exactly a shock. We'll confirm the goal scorer in just a moment, as we just had shots of Tony Bloom there, the Brighton owner. He certainly gets a huge amount of credit for the way he's turned this club around. It's just a case of how they go from here, because what impresses me the most about Brighton is, I mean, the off-field stuff and the finances is one thing, but what impresses me is that they've been developing and improving as a team on the pitch, despite having changed manager 4 times like the last 6 or 7 seasons. And that's the impressive thing, is that they have an identity as a club without necessarily having the same manager. Yes, they've got the same always have the same style of play from the managers, but the managers are getting a move on, not because they're doing it really badly. It's just because, like, Potter obviously was another Brighton manager that went to Chelsea, and he's obviously that wasn't successful. De Zerbi now at Marseille, so there's still those managers have done a good job, and I think Hürzeler he's done a good job as well for Brighton. He has, yeah. I mean, I think his attitude, I think, is one of always expecting more. It's quite rare to see him just being happy on the touchline. I think he always wants to have that little bit more improvement. And as we say, because it's been a very sort of up and down season for Brighton, they've had some really good games and some bad. He won't be happy with that though. Balaba's caught in possession, and here's a chance now. It's threaded through towards Estevao, who goes for goal. That is fantastic defending there from Van Hecker, because that really should have been 1-0 to Chelsea. Balaba caught just 30 yards out from his own goal, and he's saved really by Van Hecker.
Yeah, it's he should have a shot a lot earlier. Again, if you can get a shot straight in, because it's telegraphed, it's leading to the side, and then want to sort of do a Thierry Henry style in the far corner. So it's 2 chances now for Estevao in the box. You can see how he's such a good player. You can see why he plays for Brazil in the last qualifying games. But yeah, it's decision making not 100% yet.
No, as I say, he just wants that little bit more time. He wants that sort of perfect positioning to get the shot away, and that's what you do in training. You don't always get that sort of time on the field in a Premier League game, especially. That's something that we say about all foreign nationals that come to play in the Premier League. It's the speed of the league. I think that they have to learn as quickly as possible, because that could certainly be a bit of a surprise in terms of how little time you actually have on the ball. As Kaidoglu, they're doing well to try and get that ball away. It's forcing a deflection as well, so it will be a throw on to Brighton just at the edge of their own penalty area.
Just there's Esteve with an own goal for Man City. The Man City goal scorer.
They changed that.
Yeah, it was Phil Foden.
Initially, it was Foden, wasn't it? Yes. So they've obviously had a look at the replay and decided that the deflection there off Esteve must have been more significant. But the important thing is that it's City with an early goal against Burnley. So it really is a question of whether Scott Parker's players have got a plan B to be able to try and make it more difficult for City. As João Pedro is brought down just at the edge of the area by Lewis Dunk. You can see the Brighton captain doesn't agree with that decision, but we'll have a look at the replay. Well, he's holding on to João Pedro. Yeah. He's asking for that free kick. I agree that holding on to by his arm isn't enough to throw him to the ground, but you're asking for the free kick there.
It's
really,
a free kick, and it's holding on to him for a number of seconds. It's not just a little mini tug. So, yeah, I agree. It's a correct decision for the free kick. Obviously, the theatrical fall is, it didn't need to happen, but obviously these things happen now. Look at Crystal Palace Liverpool been interrupted.
Yeah, we haven't had too much detail as to what's happened. I can only assume it's either, well, hopefully it's nothing too serious. It's either a medical emergency in the crowd or potentially a medical emergency on the pitch. But it's a free kick to Chelsea here. It's a ball into the 6-yard box, and the intended target was João Pedro. Chelsea players have their arms up saying we want a corner kick, and the referee agrees. But clearly the reaction from the Brighton players is that they don't agree with that. Let's have a look. Is there an argument for a corner? Ooh, I think there might be.
I think I thought the Dunk was flicking the ball out, but Brighton are claiming basically we went for the ball, but we didn't connect, and it went all the way for a goal kick. But it is a corner kick from the left-hand side, and Chelsea, it's a mini onslaught now from Chelsea.
Yes, it is. It's starting to get a little bit more one way now, and Brighton have got to do something just to try and arrest that, because it's going to be an in-swinging corner here from James. It's floated into the 6-yard box, headed away by Van Hecke. It will be kept alive on the right-hand side by Andre Santos, being marshalled here by Veltman all the way to the line, and then Santos not too happy. Santos needs to learn that Veltman is one of those players that will try and wind you up. He's in the same category as someone like Joachim Andersen, for example.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and if he sees that you push him back, he'll do it to you again.
Absolutely, and it was quite lucky there. Basically, I think the linesman almost got in the way. It could have been a push on the linesman.
Yeah, could have been.
Not on purpose, though.
Yeah, that's right. But Veltman is one of those players that does like to play with quite a bit of physicality, just to try and put off the opposition. Still no word as to what's happened at Selhurst Park, but that game has definitely been interrupted. So it was 1-0 to Palace after about 15 minutes. Then the possession, then the game's been stopped. Possession, by the way, I was just looking at our screens here back at Stamford Bridge. 81% for Chelsea, 19 for Brighton. After 18 minutes, that's not the end of the world. But if that was the case by half time, that wouldn't be good.
No, it wouldn't be good. And law of average, if you keep it like that, it will be Chelsea will score. Because they have created not great chances yet, but Estevao had a couple of chances that should have been better. But now it's a chance.
Yeah, great work here from Belieber. He wins the ball back in midfield and finds Minteh. Minteh then puts the ball in towards the back post. It's just a little bit too quick. Not enough of an angle really for Ruter to come in and attack that. But this all comes from Chelsea just being caught in possession. We didn't actually get the replay of the moment that Chelsea lost the ball, but it was played quickly after Belieber had won it, and then Minteh, he rushes that cross a little bit in the end.
Yeah, I personally think Minteh should go for goal there, because looking at the Chelsea defenders, they have the... it's going to be the perfect cross in to actually find the two strikers in the middle. It's 4 Chelsea defenders against 2. Ruter, one of them. So he tried to find Ruter on the far post. It's not... It wasn't, I think, a shot on goal. It could hit a player. It can be a deflection. And at least it won't be a bad pass then.
Yeah, exactly, because that pass had no chance of really finding anyone. Just to tell you that the game at Selhurst Park has resumed now after about a 5-minute delay. So still no word on what happened there, but at least it's good news that whatever it was couldn't have been that serious, that we can get back to action in that one. And of course commentary of that game as well as Leeds, Bournemouth and Man City, Burnley, all available on our service. It's a throw on to Brighton now, still in attacking territory on the left-hand side. As Mitoma turns, he was fouled, although the Chelsea players are trying to tell the referee that's not the case. But Karim Mitoma is brought down, and now a good attacking free kick here for Brighton.
That's brilliant little spell for Brighton. It's all comes from that chance, but actually from Minte and the poor cross into the box. They never got out from the goal kick, Chelsea. Now, this is about 5 yards just towards the sideline from the edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side, so it's perfect for a right footer with a cross-comb shot opportunity.
It really is. Yeah, they've got a couple of options here. Have Brighton in terms of a left or a right-footed ball in. They've got plenty of players inside the box as well. We've just hit 20 minutes here at Stamford Bridge. It's still goalless between Brighton and between Chelsea and Brighton, but the ball into the box is catching practice for Robert Sanchez. He then bowls it out quickly. He was fouled as he did so, but the referee allows play to go on because there's an advantage for Chelsea, which stops almost immediately over the halfway line. Then the referee it wants to go back towards the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. I mean, Robert Sanchez was certainly bundled to the ground, but it looks like Enzo Fernandez hit the deck as well.
Yes, it was Sanchez he's catching the ball. He wants to restart the game really quickly. Looking at that, let's have a look. Who's there?
Van Hecke.
Van Hecke, who just runs into the back of.
But I actually think that Sanchez is already falling over. Then Van Hecke falls onto him. But certainly Van Hecke's presence makes it that much more difficult there. And say no yellow card in the end for Van Hecke. Referee happy just to give him a warning for the time being.
I think when the goalkeeper's got the ball, obviously there's different rules. You can't tackle them. So that's
you can't tackle them, and you can't really stop them from throwing it out. But you can sort of get in the way as long as it's not deliberately sort of blatant. But obviously the referee can't stop you from standing in the penalty area. It just depends on how you position yourself and what you're trying to do in terms of trying to obstruct the goalkeeper. But Chelsea now having been forced back towards the edge of their own penalty area. Finally, a bit of a pressing here from Brighton as Enzo Fernandez is caught there as well. He's one of those players that I think opposition teams like to wind up because they know he's going to potentially bite. But you got to be careful because he's one of these players that will fall over very easily as well. But now here's a chance for Chelsea with plenty of space here ahead of João Pedro. Gets to the edge of the area, and then it's Andre Santos who finds Pedro Neto. His ball into the box is headed clear by Minte, in fact, who got back into his own box. He's kept alive here on the left-hand side for Chelsea now with Marc Cucurella. And Esteval played back towards Hato on the halfway line. Here is Cucurella again. Short ball now towards Chalobah. Down the left here for Esteval, but he can't keep it in play. It wasn't the best ball to him, in fairness. Probably a little bit overhit, and it's out for a throw to Brighton. Yeah,
it wasn't the best ball, but it's a really poor take. It's one of those when you're not standing on your toes, you're more on your heels. And
yes.
If the ball comes in front of you, which it should have done, but now it's a chance almost for Brighton, but it's a ball back into Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, Diego Gomez it was who was charging towards the penalty area there. It's now played back up in the air. There's an appeal for a free kick there for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez is down. Referee's not interested though. The referee stood right next to it as well, and now it was Balaba's ball out towards the right-hand side. One back by Cucurella. Then Minte getting in the way, and Brighton have it back here. He's played forward towards Rutte, who tries to backheel it into the on-rushing Yakuba Minte, but that's good work in defence. They're trying to win that ball back from Gerald Hato. Chelsea now in possession here with Chalobah out towards the right-hand side. Some space here for Pedro Neto. Now James down the right-hand side. Pedro Neto is chasing it all the way to the edge of the area. His run is stopped though, and it's out for a throw to Chelsea.
Let's see the swap sides now, Neto and Esteval.
Yes, I think so. They seem to be swapping flanks, and it might be time, I think, for us to swap as well, because we're over 23 minutes here at Stamford Bridge. It is 0-0 between Chelsea and Brighton. It will be Eirik take us through to half-time.
Thank you, Paul. It's been a really good watch so far. Chelsea been the better side, but Brighton always dangerous on their very rare but good counter-attack, especially Mint has been good going forward. Now it's Caicedo, ball out to Neto on the right hand side, cross into the mixer, and the header into the back of the net, and it's Enzo Fernandez at the cross. I think he deflected it, and from a yard he heads it into the back of the net, and it's 1-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, if he was stood any closer, he would actually be in the net himself there, wouldn't he? But the point is that he's in the right place at the right time, and Brighton can't say this goal's come from nowhere. Although Chelsea haven't had too many clear-cut chances, the possession stats have been pretty much one way. It's been a difficult start to the game for Chelsea, and for Brighton, I should say. And now Chelsea have the goal that gives them the lead, and it's whether or not Brighton have got a plan B to try and get back into the game.
Yeah, it's basically the goal has sort of been coming. It's a great ball out.
I'll tell you,
it might be offside, but
possibly.
Yeah.
It'll be close. I mean, there's a big deflection on the cross as well, which makes it even easier for Fernandes.
Yeah, it makes it easier for Fernandes. I mean, looking at that again, it's Reece James with a cross from the right hand side. He deflects up and loops over the goalkeeper. He's completely outsmarted by that, and that header, I think both you and I would have scored.
Yeah, well, you've not seen me play football, Eric.
That is true.
That is true, and as I say, even though I'm a very tall man, my heading ability was never that good. I was more of a keeper, really. But even so, yeah, I like your confidence. I think from that sort of range, you just have to literally get your head in the way, and it would go into the net.
But looking at the goal again, that's a really good leap from Enzo Fernandez.
It is. I mean,
it's perfectly timed because he's actually in the air. He's probably a yard above the ground when he heads it in.
His goal-scoring return for a midfielder is very good. And if you look back over the last couple of seasons, when you think of how many Chelsea attacking moves have been finished off by him. I mean, he scored a goal against West Ham this season where he was the one running into the 6-yard box to tap it in from a couple of yards. So he is a very much an attacking midfielder who can play in that 6 role as well. He's in more of a number 10 role this afternoon, and he gives Chelsea the lead early in this. Well, when you think of how Brighton have started in this game, they must have seen this goal was going to come. Yeah,
at least it's a first. I think it's the first shot on goal for Chelsea. And I think Sanchez had a couple of saves, obviously from the 2 free kicks. One direct from the free kick, and one obviously after a touch. And then the run in towards the penalty box. But yeah, it's Brighton. They need to possibly change tactic, or will they carry on the same way of 1-0? Not too bad. Looks like Bournemouth have scored at Leeds, and I keep saying this every commentary. Bournemouth is my wild card for a potential Champions League spot this season.
Well,
they are just such an exciting team to watch.
They are indeed, and one of their more exciting players has got their goal. It's Antoine Semenyo with no mention of any assists, so it's either a great strike or it might just be a tap-in from a couple of yards. So we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll hear from our colleagues at half-time who are covering that game. But yeah, I mean, it's been a sort of up and down start for Leeds as well. They've been good at home at the start of the season, so defeat at home to Bournemouth this afternoon could just derail that slightly.
Yeah, that's a good, really good win at Wolves after going 1 down, and you thought. The problem for Leeds is scoring goals. They scored 3 in 8 minutes against Wolves. So yeah, now it's a terrible take from Cucurella. And that Mint 1-on-1 against Cucurella just outside the penalty area. He goes past it in towards the 6-yard box. Cucurella, he managed to block the ball out for a corner kick, but Chelsea tried to play it out for the back, and they're trying to be too clever, and dinged sort of a ball could go.
Well,
on the floor.
It's not unique to Chelsea because every goalkeeper in the country's been scared into kicking it long these days. So they are going to do all this playing out from the back, and just a byproduct of that is you are going to get some of the ball that gets lost. So it's a short corner here from Brighton.
Yeah, short corner down, and it's Minter with a cross into the box, too close to the goalkeeper this time, and it's an awful cross again from Minter.
Minter is a left footer. If you're going to cross it in after all of that, you should have used his left foot, but here comes Pedro Neto.
Yeah, it's a throw from the goalkeeper. Neto is in penalty area already. Tries to go for a shot. It goes all the way towards the opposite the corner flag. I thought it was a corner kick, a deflection, but I think it might have been.
He's just dragged it that bad.
Yeah,
he's dragged it that badly wide that it's actually gone a long way away from goal. And if he's going to do that, I mean, it's such a good run from Pedro Neto, but he has got some support. He could try and play a ball across, but that is never I mean, that's either a very poor cross or a very poor shot, but it ended up being neither, really.
Yeah, it's poor, but it would have been an assist from the goalkeeper Sanchez if it had gone in, because it was just from the corner. He just restarted the attack, but now it's a chance for Mitoma going forward on the left-hand side for Brighton, just outside the penalty area. Goes infield and finds his teammate in the middle, Eirik, the Swede. And now Chelsea just sitting back a bit. First time almost in the game that Brighton's got like a possession and just controlled possession inside the Chelsea half. Ball out now for Minter. Now for Mitoma back to Kadioglu, and all the way into the their own half. Van Hecke now finds Dunker all the way up towards the penalty area. Now it's a ball towards Minter on the right hand side, inside the penalty area. This is dangerous. Reuter is waiting in the middle. He tries to go for a shot. Oh, he goes for a dummy, and then the referee is in the way for Ayari. We know he had a great shot from and that's a free kick.
Yeah. That free kick was always going to be given.
Yeah.
I think Baliba is pushed off the ball, but even so, even if it had been the slightest contact, I think the referee would have felt he had to do something there, because he does get in the way. It's not necessarily the referee's fault. He has no idea where Ayari is. He's, unless he's got eyes in his back. I just think Minter's done so much work here. I thought there was a little window where he could have really smashed it with his left foot, but he chose to go for two dummies and played it back to a teammate in the end.
I totally agree. It's basically it's got fantastic runs and a good timed run on the right hand side. He got space. He can go if you get it infield and then get it on the left foot and try and get a shot. But Ayari was going for that shot, but the referee stood in the way, and I think the referee was very happy to see that foul, as you said. So it's a free kick now from about 25-30 yards out, just left of centre. So Ayari is one of the players on the ball. He did score from a long distance against Spurs. Disappointing result in the end for Brighton, that after winning 2-0 to lose that lead to a 2-2 draw. So Ayari is on the ball. Gomez as well. Could be a shot also. It's Ayari with a shot that goes well over the bar. Very much a wasted opportunity. Poor shot, always rising, and the Swedes' effort wasn't by far good enough. So look at it again. It's a terrible free kick.
It is a terrible free kick. I mean, the referee could come up to her. I said, what were you pushing me for? If you're going to be shooting like that, you wouldn't have done anything with that previous effort anyway.
Exactly.
But in all seriousness, I mean, for all that work that it took Brighton to get that set piece, it is disappointing. A sort of standing free kick that just goes a long way over the bar. And we just saw Fabian Hertzler there. I mean, it was just a goal kick to Chelsea, and he was still furiously clapping at one of his teammates there to get his attention, just to try and pass something across. So he's still trying to communicate there, the manager, but it's more possession now for Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea on the left-hand side. Could be a chance there for Pedro. Just colliding with Veltman. It's another corner kick.
I think João Pedro was trying to act out like it should be, but I think the referee has actually given a free kick for that little push there on Veltman.
Yeah, I think it's a free. It's been a bit of a coming together down by the corner flags. There's a free kick to Brighton in the right back position, and it's Veltman who will take this free kick. Brighton more in the game after the goal, I'd say, but still haven't had that shot on goal. Mintus with lots of nearly chances for Brighton. 3 times he's been in the box, 3 times he's not made the right decision. But now it's terrible by Kadioglu, gives the ball away, but he managed to win the ball back. Now it's Baleba plays it out on the right hand side. It could be a chance now for Minter just outside the penalty, 1-on-1 with Cucurella, just down the line, and just runs into traffic, but managed to get himself a corner kick. And so Minter doubled up on Minter this time, because he didn't get the space. So this time I think it was good work by Minter to get a corner.
It was. I mean, Minter knows he's always going to get plenty of attention. He's a very technically gifted winger. He's a left footer playing on the right, so that you always know that most of the time he wants to cut in onto that left foot. So it does give you that little bit of a window to try and slow him down. But now it's just going to be a set piece to be taken by Minter. It's going to be an in-swing up from the right-hand side. Yeah,
it's with his left foot, looking at the Brighton lining up all over the place into the box. And again, it's a cross into the hands of the goalkeeper. So disappointing from a Brighton point of view. It's almost like a wasted opportunity with those corner kicks. It's too loopy, it's too lofty.
It is. I mean, it's disappointing, really. Just get a bit more whip on it. And Van Hecke colliding there with Robert Sanchez. And so, there's just a little bit of an elbow out there from Van Hecke, a little bit of accidentally on purpose kind of thing, you know.
And I think that's very well summed up. Accidentally on purpose, so you can't blame him. You can't say
because he's trying to head the ball, but he doesn't need to have that right arm out as far as he needed to there.
But it's one of those calling it a winding up the opposition player elbow, or because it's not by force. It's not it's not a dangerous challenge. It's just not very nice, I would say.
Yes, exactly. I think that Van Hecke will know that Robert Sanchez isn't the most sort of physically imposing. He's a tall goalkeeper, he's a strong goalkeeper, but you can sort of get at him really And I think he's hoping that's just a little bit of the groundwork for the next set piece that Brighton have, as Mitoma now trying to start something down the left, but he gets challenges out for a throw to Brighton. But I suppose it's partially a good response here from Brighton, because they have seen a bit more of the ball in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think they've been much better after the goal, and it's sort of the game's changed. But Chelsea scored, and now Chelsea may be thinking it's almost is even better to get on the counter-attack with Brighton going for more attacking options. Looking at that, Sanchez now got a ball. It just places to Hato, the young Dutch player, 19-year-old, came from Ajax. Now Sanchez, he places it to Chalobah. Chalobah on the right-hand side, plays it into the field of the captain today, Reece James. Reece James gets the ball too far up the pitch, and Van Hecke, he finds Kadioglu instead. Kadioglu now a bit of a laboured pass up the pitch towards Mitoma. Goes out for a throw in to Brighton. So the tempo in the game is not the same. It's not as good as it was earlier in the game. And now the goalkeeper for Brighton, he stands on the ball. He wants to wait as long as possible to release the ball to get Chelsea players up the pitch, and it seems to be working. Mitoma now on the left hand side, 1-on-1 against James, plays it into the path of Kadioglu on the underlap on the left hand side, runs into traffic. It's cleared away temporarily for Chelsea, who actually win the ball, and then there's an offside, and he gets the ball 10 yards inside his own half, but it started on his own half.
That's a collector's item. Fair play to the linesman for spotting that, because that's not even something that I think the VAR would have told him. He would have had to have seen that himself, I think, to be able to spot that. And I'm a little bit of a cynic now, considering how much the help the linesmen are getting these days. It's almost like they need to be told. But there, the linesman spotted it straight away. Pedro Neto losing the ball. Here come Brighton again.
Yeah, Mitoma on the left-hand side. It's very, very well shepherded out there, and it's out for a throw-in to Brighton. 3 players from Chelsea just trebling up on Mitoma. One of those players, Estevao, he managed to shoot the ball out for a throw-in. It's Kadioglu with a throw-in in towards Baleba. Tries to get it into the penalty area, but just runs the ball out of play.
Runs out of space in the end. But that stat we just saw there, it's 9 shots to 2 in favour of Chelsea. 3 of them have been on target. Brighton have not had an effort on target yet, which is actually quite disappointing when you think how much attacking possession they've had.
Yeah, it's I think especially that they've had the on the transition with Minte. He's been 3 times inside the box, and a couple of times he's basically effectively in the 6-yard box without actually managed to find the space for a shot on goal. So it's very well defended by Chelsea inside the penalty area. But I think that Minte on the right hand side is the best option for Brighton at the moment.
Yes, I mean, if they're going to get something out of nothing, it's going to come from Minte. Mitoma possibly as well, but he's just not been in the game as much. Everything seems to be going through the right-hand side a bit more for Brighton, and they almost get caught in possession there as Veltman and Van Hecke exchanging passes, but Pedro Neto gets in the way of that, and he is in the end deflecting that ball out for a goal. We're getting screams from our next door studio, which is where they're commentating on Leeds v Bournemouth, and one of the commentators is a Leeds fan, so that might explain why he's getting very excited, because Leeds have now equalised against Bournemouth in the 38th minute. It's in fact the first game of the 3 o'clock Premier League games where both teams have scored.
Yeah, it's good result, good start of the season. Now Baleba for Brighton goes up towards the left-hand side, and maybe too far, much pace on that ball towards Minte, but Minte gets it into the penalty area, 1-on-1 against Cucurella, and again, it could be like a broken record. This is the 4th time Minte's been in the box with options. And this time he needs to whip it into the box.
He's got to do better there.
He basically dribbles. He just walks the ball out of play, and it's very well defended by Cucurella. He's goal side. So I think the ball towards him was slightly overhit, so he received it on the line. But then when you're on the line, you can't dribble out of the pitch.
I'm surprised that Minte doesn't see that, though. I mean, it's a surprise. The way he just puts that ball ahead of himself to try and run onto it, he must know that he's only got a yard of space to work with before he hits the line anyway. But whatever reason, he tried that move. It didn't quite work out for him, and it's now back in Chelsea possession. Just to tell you very quickly that that equaliser for Leeds was scored by Joe Rodon. Rodon making it 1-1 in that game. We're also getting word of a potential equaliser for Burnley against Man City. But here come Chelsea now with the ball through to Enzo Fernandez. That's well blocked though by Van Hecke.
It's refreshing to see the promoted teams actually not being they're actually collecting points. It hasn't happened in the last 2 seasons actually.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. I mean, and Sunderland I think are doing the best out of all 3 of them so far.
And they won the playoffs. They were miles away from getting into the top 2. But it's been a good start for all of those seasons. I mean, Burnley can get a point at Eastlands. It would be a fantastic result, but they had a heartache at Man United when they lost in the last minute. After
they had an offside goal which wasn't offside. Even the VAR replay that showed the offside couldn't actually show any part of the body that was. But it's Jadon Anthony, who's a decent signing for Burnley. He makes it 1-1 at the Etihad.
Yeah, 1-1 at the Etihad. So goals in every game. At Chelsea, this game 1-0 up. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 0. So you mentioned, are we ready for like a couple of goals after 80 minutes?
88 and 90, I reckon. Liverpool will turn that around.
Even against Southampton in a game which you expect Liverpool to win comfortably. Even in that game, they left it late with that goal and sending off offence from.
Honestly,
from
the discussion that's come out since then, people on talk shows saying. On phone is saying, "Oh, maybe we should scrap the rule." No, everyone knows the reason why. You don't take your shirt off when you score because that's when the sponsor that's paid millions to have their logo on your shirt gets most of the coverage. And by taking your shirt off, you've spoiled that moment. And it's been a rule since the 90s. So I don't think we should change it. It's Ekitike's fault for celebrating in the way that he did. But my ranting's over, and here come Chelsea.
Yeah, Neto on the left-hand side, 1-1 against Van Hecke. Good tackling by Van Hecke. Looks at the ball, not at the quick feet of Neto, and it's cleared away up towards Sanchez. Sanchez plays it to Chalobah. Long ball up the pitch from him, headed forward by Dunk. Back towards the goalkeeper Sanchez. So there's a bit of tennis going on at Stamford Bridge at the moment. They're winning 1-0. You're listening to Independent Off-Tube studio commentary. Now the youngster Yorel Hatto, who plays in towards Santos. Santos part of the Strasbourg Academy for Chelsea, we can call it. I think Captain Strasbourg already signed for Celtic now for Chelsea next season. Strasbourg fans not happy about that. A bit of a demonstration and banner against that player. But now the ball coming forward for the all yellow today in Brighton. Mint on the left-hand side, and this time the referee is not playing the advantage because it's a free kick for Diego Gomez on the right-hand side. Right decision not to give the advantage. I think possibly.
I think the way the ball was played out. I mean, Gomez is caught. There is still a pass out to Minteh. I think that the referee probably wanted to give the yellow card, as you say. It's still a decent free kick for Brighton, but you know, with Minteh on that right-hand side, he probably would have liked to have had a bit more of a run before the referee stopped the game.
Yeah, obviously, if you have too much of a run, I think the referees can't bring it back. That's it.
Well,
then you can't give the yellow card, unless it's a really bad challenge.
But see, that's what I mean about the grey area with that advantage. Nobody really knows how long an advantage is supposed to take in football. It's not as clear-cut as in other sports. But now Brighton have this free kick, and it's right-footed Ayari and left-footed Minteh standing over it.
Yes, about 10 yards outside the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side. It's Ayari who rips the ball into the box. It's headed over the bar, and it's in the end Dunk who never got over that bar, and basically he's on his knees heading it up towards the skies.
He is, yeah. I mean, he gets underneath it, and he's still trying to control that ball as it's coming down from a height. Couldn't quite get the direction on it that he wanted, but certainly it's a decent header that from Dunk, a sighter from Brighton. They need to do more of that in this game.
Yeah, it's at least it's a cross into the box, and it's an effort on the goal. A lot of the other efforts has basically been stopped long before it's on the stats. Now Chelsea try to play it out from the back. It's 1-0 to Chelsea, and it's quite an even game at the moment after Chelsea dominated until they scored their 1-0 goal. Good goal by Fernandes after 24 minutes. I wouldn't say Brighton is deserving an equaliser, but it's much more an even game after that goal. And they played out now from the back. Lewis Dunk just ball into Ayari in midfield, and Chelsea they're sort of dropping back a bit, and they're not. Just to say that they almost win the ball back. And I was going to say that the press wasn't that good, but just as I said that, the press was almost good enough to have a counter-attack. But now Brighton still have a ball. Ayari, the holding midfielder, tried to find Baleba, but placed it up towards Gomez instead. So Diego Gomez is not scored. I don't think he's scored in the league for Brighton. He scored 5 this season in the cup.
Yeah, 4 of them in midweek. Yeah, absolutely. But he has had it's been difficult for him to break into that team because there is. I mean, to say that the regular starting 11 for Brighton is a solid 11. They're trying to sort of change it up a little bit now. I know that at the start of the season, the Belgian De Kuyper was the left back. He's now been dropped for a couple of games, and Kai Doglu's come back into the team. Milner got a couple of starts as well in the last few weeks. Gruder had a good game in the cup. Coppola's had a couple of starts. Welbeck's been dropped as well. So they are trying to mix it up a little bit. They are missing 3 players who would all be starting as well in Hinshelwood, March and Webster.
Yeah, but at least... do you think all of them would have started today? But possibly.
Well, it's difficult. March has been out for so long.
Yeah,
it's hard to know exactly what his abilities are like. Now, Webster, he's always there or thereabouts in the starting 11. And Hinshelwood, he can either play at right back, central midfield, or even in a slightly more advanced role. So he actually got injured inside the first minute of that game against Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
it's very unfortunate for him. But now it's Neto on the left-hand side. Chelsea with Cucurella going on the underlap in the box instead. It's I don't know what he tried to do. It's a sort of disguised cross straight at Weltman. So it's out for a throw in to Chelsea. 45 minutes on the clock soon. So I reckon it's going to be a couple of minutes, maybe a minute added on. But a throw in to Cucurella, but a cross in from the line, just overhit a bit. But Estevao picks it up on the other corner flag. Estevao well shepherded by Kadioglu, and managed to keep hold of the ball, but it's a bit overconfident there. Estevao managed to keep the ball, and eventually the ball goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Good defending that from Kadioglu, and 2 minutes is added on in this half. But now Chalobah finds Caicedo back into the midfield there. A good ball towards Estevao. Goes infield and plays it out to Cucurella on the left hand side. Brighton players getting behind the ball up towards the penalty area with Fernandes. Now Cucurella again to Fernandes. So just playing it between ourselves inside their own half. Trevor Chalobah picks up a loose pass, and now the ball out towards Cucurella. Looks like Chelsea just want to play it out till half time.
It may well be that they've just had a sort of, they've just been checked a little bit by the fact that Brighton have looked a little better in the last 10 minutes. We don't want to exaggerate. It's not as if Brighton have dominated, but they've seen more of the ball than what they did in the first 20. So that might just be stopping Chelsea in their tracks slightly. But now, just as we say, they actually play a long ball all the way to Pedro Neto, just cleared back into midfield, but mopped up by João Pedro.
Yeah, João Pedro, a very good balance. But actually, Pedro played the ball in towards Neto. Neto now to Reece James, just outside the penalty area. Estevao picks it up in the next phase, and he plays it in towards Fernandes. Bad first touch. I thought he might set himself up for a shot there, 20 yards out, but the ball again is going from almost like the corner flag back in towards their own half, and they're quite lucky not to give the ball away. And
that should be a foul. I was sure that was a strong challenge there from Enzo Fernandez. The referee was stood over it, just wagged his finger, said no free kick, and Chelsea played on, but that didn't look good. Yeah,
Chelsea, while Ruta was on the floor there, they were just basically stopping the flow of the game, waiting for him to get up. Just check if it's actually a real injury. It wasn't, and now they got the ball all the way back towards Hato, and it will be Chelsea 1, Brighton 0 at half time, because the ball has gone all the way up to the pitch towards Verbruggen, and the referee has blown for half time, and it is Chelsea 1, Brighton 0 at the break.